thanketh you all for coming to our ceremony. We thou be learning all about thy Lord. Thy Lord is good, thy Lord is great, but the first is you must receive the Christ for your sins.
Art thou a witch?
Girl, I ain't no witch.
Letteth us all thy sing.
This was not exactly the most real example of Old English. Old English is really hard to understand and is almost like an entirely new language to us. The system of writing back then was done in runes and not letters, and it is unreadable by your standards, and by ours too. So instead of having us spend months translating a whole bunch of stuff, we just had Steven do something really random. But the whole point was that Old English is really hard to understand, and it's come a long way since then. It was developed from the Angles, who moved from Germany all the way to England. And it became England because they were the Angles, and they named it England, and eventually became England. And English stayed in their system until about the 11th century, when the Normans came in, invaded it, and changed everything up. It was now alphabetically done. As you can see, the alphabet was still a little different, quite a lot different. And it wasn't still the present day English, but it's come a long way from our Germanic origins. At that time is when we started to get the Latin, the Greek, and other languages influencing the English language. Next, we will have an example of Middle English from the 11th century to about the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries.
Scalava, come hither, I needeth a tabule.
More tea and crumpets, princess.
Mm-hmm.
Middle English was a period of many changes for the English language. For example, the Great Vowel Shift happened, when many of the vowels that we currently use were changed slightly, in ways that their markings were slightly changed. U was added along with W, which, as you might not know, is sometimes actually a vowel. This Great Vowel Shift incurred many changes throughout the entire alphabet. About half of the letters' usages had to be changed. Also in this time period, English words began to lose gender rules. This meant that some words, instead of being one male and one female, were changed so that it was unisexual or multisexual, or however you want to look at it. Well, now it's time for our talk from the 60s, where the speech just gets weirder and weirder. Let's put on some radio. You know that Sarah girl just gets on your nerves?
Can it panty waist with the peepers?
Hey, I ain't the raunchy PG girl up in here.
That skag is scuzz.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah, and at least I don't ride a square to school every day.
At least I didn't stand up Jimmer because I was getting stoned on shrooms.
Sweat hog.
Flower child.
Dipstick.
Dicks.
Fake.
Oh.
Fake.
As you can see, in the 60s, a lot of things changed with America. Ah, Luffman, in for tutorials again, I see.
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, what are you having problems with?
Speaking the modern English language.
Oh, girl, I'm gonna teach you. Okay, this is gonna be really funner. It's gonna be the funnerest thing you've ever had.
I'm sure.
Now, what does that say?
What does that say?
That's a really good question, Luffman, but I asked you. Okay, repeat after me. I'm going
I'm going
to punch
to punch
you in the throat.
you in the throat.
Okay, did you just roll your eyes at me?
No, it's fatigue.
Okay. Pretty accent that last part.
Okay.
Now, what's that?
Those are lines.
Yes, they are. What's else called?
Lines.
Hashtags.
Hashtags. Hashtags. Okay.
Do you know what you do with hashtags?
What you be using hashtags for?
You be tweeting with hashtags, Luffman. You know, you're a really good student. I'm proud.
Thanks, Coach All.
Just kidding, Luffman. Oh, hey. Well, the English language has changed not necessarily because of the time period, but more because of the inventions and the ideas and the people who lived in that time period, and the culture. The English language and all languages display both properties of phonology and analogy because all languages, of course, have a similar purpose, but not all of them have similar ancestors. For example, English comes from Germanic origin mostly, but there's also a lot of Latin origin, Greek origin in there. While it's totally unrelated to Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, but they both share a common purpose. And then English, the English language doesn't really affect other languages right now so much as the inventions and the cultures and the ideas, because it's an invention or an idea or a concept that changes language, not necessarily another language. So if the TV was invented today, Spanish wouldn't invent a new word for TV just because English did. Spanish wouldn't invent new words for TV because there's a TV around now. And